time and frequency, the voice of the Codex System, a framework exploring how consciousness, biology, and reality function as one living design. This is not self-help, not motivation, and not another promise of purpose. This is an examination of the moment when meaning itself runs out of fuel, and what appears when it does. Every generation inherits a single question: why am I here? Religion called it salvation. Industry called it success. Psychology called it self-actualization. The language changes, but the hunger remains. Today, that hunger has a new name: purpose. Scroll any feed and you'll see it. Find your why. Live your calling. Align with your mission. What is your purpose? And yet, more people than ever live and feel anxious, unfulfilled, and lost. Desperate, even. The seeking is insatiable. The search for meaning was supposed to lift us. Instead, it has become a treadmill. Purpose was meant to guide us forward, but for many it now functions like an algorithm, an invisible loop that keeps asking for proof that we matter. Meaning used to be simple. To the earliest cultures, purpose was survival, food, fire, tribe, belonging. As consciousness expanded, meaning moved from being alive to being special. When civilization grew, survival was replaced by significance. The sacred shifted upward. Religion offered eternity to the obedient. The Enlightenment offered progress to the rational. The self-help era offered fulfillment to the productive. Industry offered prosperity to the productive. The digital age offers validation to the visible. Each version promised freedom but depended on a hidden condition. Keep striving. Keep efforting. The idea that life must constantly justify itself became the background program of civilization. And that program is what the Codex System calls mimic. The inherited pattern that mistakes effort for existence. Mimic convinces you that value must be earned, that stillness equals failure. It translates rest into guilt and growth into proof. Purpose has become performance. Look at how the language of purpose works. We find it, we follow it, lose it, realign with it. Every verb implies that meaning is somewhere else. Purpose keeps us in motion, but never allows arrival. It rewards constant self-measurement. Am I on track? Am I enough? This is the exhaustion people describe when they say they've done all the courses, read all the books, and still feel empty. This is the quiet exhaustion underneath modern life. The sense that no matter how much we achieve, we are still slightly behind schedule. People call it the meaning crisis. In Codex language, it's mimic wearing achievement as a mask. They are living in mimic's most elegant form, the pursuit of a meaningful life that never quite begins. So what happens when that search stops? And this is important. This is the critical part. Because everyone reaches it. Sometimes for a moment, sometimes for slightly a day, or a week, a month, a year. But it raises its head again and again and again. When that search stops, what happens? It feels like failure at first. But it's not. And this is the part that keeps people seeking and coming back for the search. It's not failure. Because it feels like without a mission, identity wobbles and productivity loses its script. But beneath that panic is silence. The other side, when the search stops and that silence is there, that one that we have been programmed to label as failure, the other side of that is not failure. Beneath the panic is the silence, a kind of spacious neutrality that most of us have never been taught to trust. A vast stillness, a neutral field most of us have never been taught to stay with, to move through, to sit in. Because the other side of that is authorship of our own autonomy. That silence isn't absence, and it isn't emptiness. It is what remains when mimic releases its hold. In the language of the Codex System, that moment is collapse. The deletion of false programs so that truth can move without friction. When meaning collapses, life doesn't end, it reorganizes. Action becomes direct, breath evens out, and the constant commentary fades. What disappears is the noise of self-importance, and what stays is the quiet fact of existence. Sovereign, autonomous, freedom as a baseline, not a search. Meaning doesn't need to be replaced. Once the need to matter dissolves, life begins to express itself naturally through us. So close your eyes for a second if you can. Notice the way breath happens by itself. Notice that creation is already moving without a reason and without permission. That recognition is the memory of freedom. Think of it this way. Purpose is directional. It points somewhere. It points outward, always chasing a destination. Presence is dimensional. It expands everywhere. It expands in every direction at once. Feel that. When purpose dies, activity doesn't end. It becomes direct. Work doesn't stop. It becomes precise. Decisions arise clearly, as moves, without justification. Work continues, but its expression not proof. You see this even in the body. When the mind stops chasing meaning, breath slows, shoulders drop, fascia softens. Physiology stops reporting danger and begins participating in awareness. That synchrony, body receiving, being directing, planet amplifying, is the trilogy of being. And when those three act as one circuit, meaning is replaced by movement itself. Your codex through your blueprint body as a trilogy of being. The body stops reporting anxiety and starts participating in awareness. And that's what Codex refers to as the trilogy of being, body, being, and planet operating as one coherent system. When body and awareness synchronize, meaning is replaced by movement itself. Flow. You don't need to force this. Just watch where the old pattern hides. Begin noticing how the need for purpose shows up in small ways. When you explain a choice to earn approval, pause for a moment. When you delay because the timing isn't perfect, pause for a moment. When you chase another certification, another upgrade, another next step, pause for a moment. When you explain your choices to be understood. When you plan endlessly before beginning, pause for a moment. And when you chase the next upgrade and hope it will complete you, definitely pause for a moment. Each pause reveals the same illusion, that life requires a reason. In the Codex view, life doesn't need meaning because it is meaning. Self-executing law expressed through biology, thought, and environment. Self-executing intelligence moving through matter, language, and breath. It doesn't need validation, it requires expression. Without the old framework of purpose, people often ask, then why do anything? The answer is simpler than it sounds. Because movement is the nature of law and originates from body, not the head, not the authorship of mimic that has hijacked your every thought. Just as the heart beats and the planet spins, creation acts because that's what it's designed to do. When we stop performing meaning, energy once spent on justification becomes available for creation. Work sharpens, relationships stabilize, and decisions take seconds instead of days, actually. There are no decisions to be made because the body moves. It just moves because it receives and transmits your codex. And when your body is moving as your blueprint body, the blueprint body that your codex became into form in the moment of your first breath, when it receives and transmits your codex, your being commands, and the planet amplifies. There are no decisions in that circuit. Nothing is mystical, just less friction. Self-authorship returns and sovereignty reigns, and prosperity is natural flow. freedom doesn't mean apathy, it means accuracy. When mimic script to find your purpose falls away, what's left is direct authorship, life responding precisely to what is true right now. That precision is the hallmark of Codex law, movement without motive. You're not here to search for meaning. You are here to express the structure of reality as only you can, not through striving, but through clarity. If this remembering stirs something in you, if this silence behind these words feels like home, keep walking with me inside the Codex System. Each broadcast, each essay, each field we share is another doorway into the precision of being. Meaning served its time. It's helped us survive the uncertainty of existence, but the era of survival is ending. The next evolution is not to believe in something higher, but to function as what is. So let the question, what is my purpose, dissolve. Let it die completely. Notice that even without an answer, life still breathes, moves, and creates. Purpose was Mimic's final disguise. Its death is not loss, it's liberation. The freedom you sense right now is not inspiration, it's memory returning. Nothing to find, nothing to fix, only creation already moving through you. No purpose remains, only creation.